Awesome. Welcome, Sasha. Welcome, everybody. Anybody else who's joining us since we are still, I love the fact that people are joining us ahead of time, Judy. We opened our room about 15 minutes and ahead of time, and Judy said people are already waiting. I said, I love it. I love our community is really respecting each other's time, and our community is vibrant and happy and joining and becoming bigger and bigger. Our circles are becoming so wide, and we are loving this. Judy and I are honored by your presence. So anybody else who wants to just share quickly before we start our official.
Sure. What we're looking for is just your name, your company, and where you're joining us from today, because sometimes we get to be international, which is absolutely amazing to me.
Yeah, Judy, yes. That's true. New technology, new era. We can join and be zooming together without there are no limits, right? Unlimited potential, unlimited. Unleash your free spirit, and spirit can really go wherever you want to.
Absolutely. Awesome. Absolutely. And yes, and if you'd like to put your information in the chat. So we are all about sharing and connecting with each other. So please share information with each other. If you want to be connected with, go ahead and put your information, and then people can choose whether they want to connect with you or not. So go ahead and do that. And it is the top of the hour, Ginny.
Awesome. So you, wonderful.
And I do see that our guest is on also today, which I'm so happy to see.
But oh my goodness.
Yes. Let me welcome everybody to Unleash Your Free Spirit. We are so happy to have everyone here today and to be a part of our growing community. We're a community of business people, individuals, entrepreneurs, homemakers, everyone that knows that they have a free spirit and they are either waiting to unleash it or have unleashed it and are willing to share that with each other. Before we have our guest talk today, and I'm so excited to have Tracy Hazzard here and being able to do that, we want a few of you to just get to know each other in a different way. So what we want to do is share your name and a positive word that starts with the first letter of your name. And Ginny is the one, my awesome host, who came up with this idea, right, Ginny?
Oh, thank you, Judy. That's what friends are, right? We help each other. If one thing you can get from this hour with us is about positivity and happiness and jolliness. And that's what we want to bring. So here, floor is yours. Just give me one word which starts, positive word which starts with the first letter of your name. So I actually honor that and I keep it close to my heart. Please go ahead. We have lots of guests today. It will be an honor to hear from you. Anybody, take a lead.
Oh, we have people that have already said in the chat, Sasha is success. And that is so true, Sasha.
Love it. Sasha, success. And may you have more and more success in life. Continue your successful journey. Who else wants to join?
My gosh. Ashton is amazing.
Ashton, awesome, amazing. Ashton friend,
Steve,
I love it.
Smile, and I can't wait to see your smile, Steve. I can't see it right now. Oh my gosh, David, determination. Michael, marketing. Oh, Michael's a marketing expert. Oh my gosh, Bernie, beautiful. Ron, serve. David, determination.
Love it. Look, awesome words.
Felicia, finalize. Michelle, masterful.
Awesome, wonderful.
Such great words. Justin, joy. Oh my gosh, Justin, you almost stole my name. So my name is Joyous Judy. So we need to get to know each other better, Justin, because we have some things in common here.
Absolutely.
Yay. Welcome. And look at the background, Justin. Love it. Love it. Welcome. You know what? The wreath becomes so powerful. And I love the fact that the ripple effects of this jolliness, the ripple effect of these positive words can go a long way. You have made us way more richer right now with your presence because of the fact of what you've joined, what you've shared with us about the positive words. And we honor it. We really honor it. Our request to you is continue that rippling effect, continue that jolliness, spread that joy and laughter around you. Judy, I'm super excited. You know, I cannot even hold my excitement by the guest we have today. So would you do an honor of introducing, because every time I think about Tracy, I'm mesmerized by this woman. She is a professional. Yay. But Judy, please do a proper introduction to our great host, a guest today, and our friend Tracy.
Yes, and Tracy is Tenacious Tracy.
I like it. Yay!
So let me just share with everyone today about our guest today, Tracy Hazzard. And I'm going to make it a little bit personal because I remember the first time that I met Tracy. Actually, it was at a CEO Space event. I think we may have been in Las Vegas, Tracy. I think that's where it was. And at that time, Tracy was starting, or she was a successful personal podcaster, but her subject was 3D printing. And my thought was, my gosh, who would ever listen to a podcast on 3D printing? But you know what? She was extremely successful in that service. She actually had 600 episodes doing that. And that really made her such an expert in podcasting and this entire way of creating community and education, that she is so prolific in what she does at her company Brandcasters. And she's really gone from a person that's kind of behind the scenes to someone that is out in front. And I'm so excited to have Tracy here and to hear her story about her journey on how she really unleashed her free spirit. So Tracy, if you are ready, please.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Judy and Ginny. I am so excited. You have such a wonderful community. You always have just absolute joy going around, the two of you, and I appreciate that. The big hearts come everywhere. So when you said you had this community, I said I better show up. And so I'm so glad to be here. You know, no one asked me about my story. I try never to tell it. I know that's like anti-entrepreneur or something, that you just don't tell your story often. But my role in the world is so different from most people who are out in front speaking on their companies. My role in the world is to be your support system. My role in the world is to help you find your voice. And it started out with helping people find their visual, their thing, right? What does something look like? So my husband is my partner, Tom, who most people already know in our community, but Tom and I have been in business together on and off for almost all 30 years of our marriage. So we're 29 and plus, but we started working together a little before our marriage. So we've been together a long time. We have a rapport with each other in a way that we work. And we started out as ghost designers. And most people are like, what's that? That's so weird. We started out as ghost designers behind the scenes, working for people like Martha Stewart and designing products for her. We designed over 250 products that you buy still today in Costco, Target, Walmart, you know, you name it, Amazon, of course, Best Buy, places like that. You buy them today. And we designed them, most of them a decade ago at this point, or at least 6 years ago. And so we were used to being kind of hidden behind somebody else's brand, making sure that your brand came to life, making sure that it sings, that it had the end it needed, the heart that it needed, that it did the things that it out there, things start to change. Businesses start to shift. And we saw that shift because that's also our job, is to stay ahead of the trends, stay ahead of what's going on. And we saw that shift coming. And we saw what was going on in the design world, and that less and less design work was going on, and less and less design work was happening. I'm going to say in the US, right? It was happening at the factory level. It was happening with stylists. It was happening with individual Amazon sellers coming forward and designing their own thing. It was happening like that in a way that was making it so that there was less and less, I'm going to say, great products out on the market that had this years and years of design experience. So what were we going to do about it? What were we going to be able to keep our role, make sure we had a business at the end of the day, make sure we could support our family? We have 3 girls, and they're widely ranging in ages from 25 all the way down to 7. So, we've got this broad range of daughters that we have to maintain. We needed a business to run, and we started looking out there, and this 3D printing thing was eking in, and it was an opportunity for us to be designers out in front, meaning we would be the brand. You would be buying designs from us. So we thought this sounds really ideal for where we wanted to go. This sounds where the market's shifting. It sounds where we want to go. But we said, you know what? Our email list has zero people on it. We don't know anyone. We don't even know a lot of people in the 3D print industry. We got a 3D printer. We know what to do with it, but that's about it. And so we said, let's figure out some grassroots, inexpensive ways that we could market ourselves and test if there's a market for the things we want to sell. And so podcasting, it just came up. It was something that I was exploring, something that I was interested in. My partner and I talked about it, and we said, yeah, we're good at talking. We'd be good at this. And so about 2 months later, we had figured it all out. I did all the research. I'm a how-to girl at the end of the day. So I figured out all that how-to stuff that hangs everybody up. And we launched a podcast. And so this was 2014. And we launched this show called WTFFF. And my mother, who's on this call, thought that was a swear word and didn't really listen to the show in the beginning. And yes, it's true. And so, but it isn't a swear word. It means what the fused filament fabrication, which is the geeky term for 3D printing. So if you didn't know what that was, you probably didn't want to listen to the show because it was pretty geeky. But at the end of the day, we attracted this wildly broad-ranging age of audience. We had kids all the way to seniors who were getting 3D printers to have fun with their grandkids, or just because they were retired engineers and they thought it would be great. We specialized in talking about the things you would 3D print and how to get the 3D printer to do what you wanted to do. And so we weren't talking about the tech industry or anything like that. We basically turned it into layman's terms, even though the show name had this geeky term at the beginning of it. And we ended up with 100,000 listeners within a year. I mean, that is, today it's incredibly hard to do. Back then, it didn't seem like it was that hard. What are we doing that's so right? And people kept asking us that. What are you doing? And literally people were shoving credit cards at us and saying, just do it for me. Don't tell me how to do this. And that's when we realized we didn't have a design business anymore. We didn't have a 3D printing business. We learned very quickly they wanted our information, but they didn't want to buy what we had to sell. And so we said, you know what? I think we might have a podcasting business there. But Tom and I are not the kind who go all in on anything. We diversify. So we started a little podcasting division. And the first year we had 12 customers. Well, it was really first few months. We had 12 customers who were all people we knew. In fact, probably a lot of people Judy and Ginny know. And then from there, they kept referring people. And the next year we had 100. And the next year we had 300. And this past year in a pandemic, we did 25% better year over year, so 125%. We ended up with 500 customers. And now this year, we're going to expand that, and we're going to 10x ourselves from $1 million company to a $10 million company this year alone. And looking at all of that, could you imagine that that was the dream, that was it? It just sort of happens to you? Well, no, all along the way, that's what we do. When we think that dreaming big is something that just happens to us, or that we are just passive in that process of it, that's not what goes on at all. Every single day in the past 4 years has been work. Every single day we cultivate that dream and make it and refine it and make it better and find the right partners. Every single day, it's not just about imagining that dream of what it could be. It's about making that happen. And Tom and I learned this from our design days. We can imagine the most beautiful product in the world. We can draw it up and put it on paper or put it in the computer in CAD and have it be absolutely amazing. But at the end of the day, that will not become a real product you can buy on a shelf if there isn't a heck of a lot of work that goes into it along that way. Someone who has to build it needs to come in and work with you. And that's what I think we've really learned, is that, you know, when we're dreaming to be heard, we found a way to make that happen. We found a podcast. We found a vehicle so that we could be heard. We found a vehicle to have a different business model. Just because we were out there searching for it, we didn't imagine it would take the format that it would be, that it would be a completely different business than we were in, 6-7 years ago. But it happened because we were out there dreaming, looking, and defining along the way. Refining that dream is so, so important. So my role, as I said before at the very beginning of this, is to make sure that everyone is seen, heard, and found, but rewarded as well. And so everything that I do, every time we shift our dream, every time we notch it up, that's exactly the goal. None of that changes. So whether it was just us wanting to be seen, heard, found, and rewarded, making sure we had a business, right? Or whether it is now wanting that for my clients, wanting that for the broader podcasting community, it doesn't matter. That goal, that part of my dream is the same, because it's where I know that I sing. Because in your dream world, in your dream job, in your dream business, it's where you are allowed to shine, where your spirit is truly unleashed to who you are. And that, to me, for me, is my being able to bring you the how-to bring you the support system, to let you do what you do best, and that's talk or do videos, whatever, look good. Either way, all of those things, that's my role in the world, is to make that happen for as many people as possible. That fulfills my dream. My dream isn't to have a $10 million business. My dream is to have a $10 million business that is supporting thousands of other businesses by giving them the marketing vehicle to be seen, heard, found, and rewarded. So really thinking about how does your dream also serve has become a really important part of the way that we dream in our company and the way that we move what we dream into reality. And, I just want to say that for some of us, it's always been, I don't have a sob story. You're not going to hear that here. I just don't. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. It doesn't matter how you want to look at that. When you don't have to be worried about your health, your food, your shelter, your job, your family security, when you don't have to worry about those things. And then most importantly for me, when you don't have to worry about love. Because from the moment that I was born to the moment I went to college and my father cried as he dropped me off, I met my husband. And I have been literally unconditionally loved every single day of my life by my parents, by my wonderful mother and father, by my husband and my kids. So I haven't had any of that to ever worry about. And when you can take care of some of those must-haves in your lives, then it allows you to have so much more freedom to dream.
Oh my God, Tracy, you are a blessed woman and you acknowledge it. That makes you to the next level. And we personally, I am honored. And I can honestly say that on behalf of Judy also. What a pleasure it is to bring you to our community, because you are a person who really has experienced how to unleash your free spirit, and you're willing to serve others. you're willing to give to others. I'll be honored to say that in my journey, I have met many, many people, very successful people, millionaires, billionaires. But some people I can spot, and I can honestly say, there is my friend. And Tracy, you are one of those, because you are not, podcast many people do. Yes, I can go on and read your huge resume, and and we can go about, oh, I saw you on Larry King recently and blah blah blah. I can put all those words, but truly somebody who not only says what she means, she experiences it, and she's willing to do it for others. And we are honored to have you share your wisdom and your personal journey with our phenomenal, vibrant community. And I think I can see everybody is muted right now. Thank God. Otherwise, everybody is saying, yes, Tracy, yes, Tracy, yes, Tracy. Please, please, please feel free to put your comments in the chat. And
Ashton put something in the chat, and it says, I love that you don't leave your success to chance. You plan ahead and put the work into it. Actually, my husband, his big motto is hope is not a plan. Oh. And we use that around here. Hope is not a plan. I hope that I succeed. I can have that hope, but you have to put that plan underneath it.
That's so true. That's so true. And I like too how you weren't committed to one goal in life, one path. What you've done is you've diversified so many ways in so many different directions, always with a positive attitude. We so love that, Tracy.
Thank you. Diversification is something that everybody talks about, whether you're talking about in finance and business. And for us, it's been actually the driver to making it easy for us to get funding when we're ready for it, because we have a diversified client base, we have a diversified business model, we have diversified product lines. But we learned that really early on, that when we were designing products, it's such a hit or miss kind of model that you couldn't get attached to any one thing. And so you had to be ready with the next thing, or the thing in your back pocket that sometimes you'd have to pull out in a meeting to impress Martha Stewart, like whatever it would be. We always had to have that. And if we got too attached to it, it actually put blinders on us and limited our ability to be able to see the right next step.
That's so wonderful. Also, we have a couple of minutes before we are going to actually meet one another. Does anybody have any questions for Tracy?
Please unmute yourself, and absolutely, it'll be our honor. Tracy's information also will be in the chat. You can feel free to reach out to her. And I love the fact you said finding the right partners and always keeping the core dream there. Please, anybody has a question for our phenomenal speaker this afternoon. I am actually breathless and without words right now for a change. Ginny.
And thank you, Felisa, for loving Tracy's energy. Yes, Tracy always has energy. Absolutely. I have a question, Tracy.
Okay.
How many 3D ties does Tom have?
That's such a great, actually, if you go to our website, you'll be able to see him. He has it's the same design. So he has a 3D printed tie. It's actually physically made of plastic. And it's printed that way, and we print it in a spiral on a 3D printed bed, and it's like if you touch it, it moves. And so people are always like, can I touch it? Which is a little weird to let and I'm like, women come up to him and touch his tie all the time. It's very common, but it's a really cool thing. But it's one single design. So it's the same design, but we print it in new colors all the time so that it looks good against whatever he's wearing. So I think he has right now about 10 different colors. He hasn't worn it in a while, obviously, because we haven't been out in public.
Well, that's true. But when I remember the early years of meeting Tom, I just loved his ties.
Yeah, they are beautiful. And it took about 200 hours to make that design. So 100 hours of designing it, and then 100 hours of refining the print. That's how hard sometimes it is to get to just the right thing.
That's so true. That's so true. And Michael says that he's going to need some of your ties after COVID.
I think the file's out there somewhere. It's not the easiest thing to print, but we certainly have the file. And if you're looking for one, message us. I'm sure we can print one for you.
She's always ready to help. Tracy is one person, you reach out, she's there to really assist you and serve you, really. she and her husband are phenomenal friends to have as in your circle. Really wonderful, wonderful. So yes, awesome, Judy. We were having our own technical challenges today, so Judy had to make me the co-host, and I'm sharing it. And well, we are embracing technology. We are also realizing, and we are being authentic. We are like you guys. We everything is. Things happen. Things are thrown to you at the spur of the moment, and suddenly you say, "Oh my God, what do I do next?" Yes. So, Judy, should we? What do you suggest? Next one should be great.
Absolutely. So I want to thank Tracy again. Tracy, please go ahead and stay on if you would like to meet some of the people in the breakout rooms. And if you would like to put your contact information in the chat, please do so, and so people can connect with you afterwards.
Absolutely. Just did that.
Awesome. And so